Facebook and YouTube, even though privately on Facebook as of right now. And then I'm inviting you right now onto TikTok. If you're in there, you're in there, right? Not that I see.
Go to Facebook.
No, I already told you I can't do that because of what happened. It won't allow me. But I do need you in here. All right, welcome in, beautiful souls, for round 12 of Awakening Truths Make Up Your Power podcast. This is day 8 of 30. We're here having the conversation about the what the fuck energies that are currently happening, that everybody is experiencing. So we have kind of an outline that we want to bring to you guys right now. I'm just waiting for Tina to get on. Welcome in, beautiful souls. We wanted to talk about the big shifts that are currently happening, the rage bait energy that is definitely out there, because I'm currently being rage baited by technology not working like I need it to. That's pretty much how I look at it. I feel like I'm super being rage baited by the internet because I cannot get my platforms to work. T, are you on TikTok? Where are you?
I'm on TikTok.
All right, are you in my room?
I believe it says. Wait.
Yep, got you.
Okay.
All right, accept, you're coming on. Perfect. Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Are you not? Your volume's off on TikTok. I think it'll have to be on for people to be able to hear you.
But then we're gonna have an echo.
Oh my Donna mia. Okay, well, I don't know how they're going to hear you on here then. Can they hear you?
It's been muted all other times.
Okay. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Mute it down. Do what you got to do. Let's go. We're doing this. We're moving forward. Okay, everybody. So we wanted to bring to you the what the fuck energies that are currently happening all around us. There is definitely rage bait energy out there coming from all angles, people, because we have a lot of fire energy going on right now. And for our day 8 of 30, we wanted to bring to you the what the fuck energy in real time. It has now taken us 13 minutes to get started on our 1 hour live that we do daily. It has taken us 13 minutes to get to this point. Nobody's watching right at this current time, but we are still here. We are still showing up and we're still moving through it. So Tina, on TikTok, you guys won't unfortunately be able to see this, but for YouTube and Facebook later on, Tina has kind of some slides that she can show you guys about the current chart, the astrological charts. There's an easy house one along with the zodiac signs and the planets and their meanings, because we really want to try to help educate you guys on the energies that are currently happening. So when you're in the WTF energies or space, you kind of feel more under control of what's going on than rather thinking that, oh my God, what is happening in my life right now? Because this is definitely very orchestrated energy to help us shift into this next level of consciousness that we're heading to. And T, so I can't see you on here. There you are. I don't even know if you have anything pulled up. Do I have to have you share? Or do you?
Yeah, you're gonna probably make sure I have permissions to share.
Not that it shows on my side. Let me see. It says on my side to share. You don't have share at the bottom of your thing?
No, I do.
Okay, yeah, you should be. Then that means that you should be able to directly share. Welcome in, beautiful souls. Tonight we are talking about the current energies for the month of April. We also do have Uranus is going to be shifting out of Taurus and into Gemini. Uranus has been in Taurus for the past 8 years. So we've had a major shift in our lives over the past 8 years within. Okay, so for you watching on Facebook and on YouTube, we have on here some slides. Can you go down to the houses for me? Or even that one's even a good one. Oh, that's a little small for me. Okay, that's okay. So what you guys can currently be looking at is where Taurus shows up in your chart. Because that was where Uranus has been shifting everything for you over the past 8 years. And Uranus is correlated to change, freedom, rebellion, uprising, originality. There's surprises, awakenings, innovation. So Uranus is very much comes in like the wrecking ball and shifts everything that's going on in where your Taurus is. So, for example, my Taurus was in my third house. And in the third house, if you go down to the houses, I think it's the fourth slide. In the third house, that would be correlated with siblings, school, short trips, neighborhood communication, just for some examples. So now that Uranus is shifting out of Taurus and is moving into Gemini, what house does Gemini own in your chart? For me, Gemini owns the fifth house. So that's going to be a lot around good fortune, sex, pleasure, creativity, children, is really where I'm going to see that shift with freedom, rebellion, surprises. And I'm ready for it because my rising sign is Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus. So I'm ruled by Uranus naturally. So I'm kind of used to the surprises and the rebellion, and people that know me, they know the rebellious side of me. But if you guys can know kind of where this energy could be showing up for you personally, it could help you feel a little bit better when you're seeing on the world stage so much chaos, right? So Uranus and Taurus had shaken up the collective relationship to money and survival, the body and the nervous system, food, land, our resources. And you guys can see that playing out on a huge level, even more so if you see how the food, the land, and our resources have been so constricted and changed and shortened, even though, I mean, we won't go there. But anyway, security systems of all kinds have been shifted. And the reason why this tends to expose, it's because of where people are clinging on to a sense of false safety. So really sit with that for a minute. If there is a sense of false safety that you've been clinging on to, then that's going to be what kind of comes up. Taurus wants predictability while Uranus wants liberation. But that tension created a global pressure cooker. And I've talked about pressure cooker quite often. So collective themes that played out. My dog's even very passionate about this too. Example, the pandemic, the era supply chain, breakdowns that exposed how fragile stability really was. Inflation, cost of living, pressure that made everyone rethink money, value, and priorities. Big conversations around climate, land, drought, wildfires, food insecurity. These are all in alignment with the Uranus and Taurus energy over the past 8 years. Now, it takes, I believe, Uranus about 84 years to make it all the way back around. So in our lifetime, we will not experience this energy again. But what we are shifting into is Uranus now shifting into Gemini. And that Uranus shift is going to be like a shock wave of matter to mind. Holy shit. That is crazy. I'm sorry. I'm reading Uranus and Gemini shifts the shock wave from matter to mind. And I look over to my left with it being the month of April, because this is the month that it's happening in. My thing above my calendar says mind and align and matter. So universally speaking, Tina's like, oh my God, this girl. It just for you guys to see that the world's always showing up and giving you guidance all around. So collective themes. T, have you referenced at this if you wanted to jump into like the Uranus and Gemini energy? If you want to talk about the expecting of the major disruptions and innovations, or did you want me just to keep blabbing?
And no, you can keep going.
Okay.
I think, I think what you and I spoke about earlier is it just is this WTF moment for everybody. And some of the coaching classes that I've done this week, I've been getting that same vibe from my clients and just trying to understand what the hell's going on and trying to get them to realize, they've got to understand the spirituality side of things to really get this to click.
Mhm.
But it is impacting everybody, and I'm quite convinced it's impacting animals too, because my dog's been acting a little different than normal.
They like on a WoW one.
Yeah.
Rage bait is real. Well, and all the fire energy, we're in the fire horse, we're in the Aries, we got all the planets direct. We got Mars moving in the Aries, which Mars loves Aries, but again, you got fire, you got passion, you got movement. So burnout can be real because things are happening so fast. A lot of thoughts and kind of like epiphany moments a lot of people are getting. So it's kind of creating scattered brain too, in a way of like, what do I start? I want to start all these things. So really trying to ground, be mindful, like you mentioned with spirituality, another essence, working with energy, right? We've got the planets around us. They play a pivotal part in our energy since we're energy as well. And the big shifts that they're creating are shifting us. And with the Uranus shifting into Gemini, mind you about how big of a shift that is. We're definitely feeling major disruptions around communication, media, and news. I mean, come on, for real on that one. AI and technology, education, social platforms, how people think, learn, and connect is huge because it's out of the body. And it's like, no, how do I explain that? Like, you're getting yourself internal into the mind, into the body, and balancing and going within rather than external because of the breakdown that's occurring. So what it could look like in the world is like faster changes in media, algorithms, information access. um, you're going to hear a lot more volatile things in the headlines, narratives, and public opinion because there is such that uproar and that breaking of happening. But it's also to keep in mind that we can get further with alignment than we can with spilling out our energy in an angry essence that is bleeding us out rather than fueling what we're trying to create moving forward. There's going to be more movement, travel shifts, transportation innovation, collective attention spans get shorter. So people are getting shorter tempered. Education wise is going to change. People are going to want to learn now and quicker. They're not going to want the 4-year plan. So university wise, there's going to be some adjustments there. People learning more life skill kind of education is going to really uptick. Uranus and Taurus asks, what do you value? Okay. So that's what the last 8 years was doing. And I can relate because over the course of these 8 years, the shifts that happened with my body, my weight, the people I surrounded myself with, and the value that I have now, Uranus and Taurus was a beautiful transit for me. As crazy and disruptive as it was beautiful. Uranus and Gemini asked, what are you even believing and who told you to believe it? So big shift in belief systems, evolution of belief. Yes, go ahead.
So, and you may have said this, but this is where I worry about the nervous system for people who don't understand what's happening around them.
Mhm.
Because, again, going back to the folks I spoke to this week in my coaching calls, this is new. They don't understand this world, and their nervous systems are bouncing off walls. So staying grounded for you and I is easy to say, but it's hard for those that don't really know what that even means.
Mhm.
So that mental health space is something that I do worry about during this shift.
Absolutely. Regulating your nervous system is going to be key to one, your intuition, your grounding, and you making decisions, rational decisions that are going to, that are authentically in alignment because we're in an energy now that if we're people pleasing, it's backfiring. It's exhausting us. It's people are not really going that route, but the nervous system regulating is super important because there's so much misinformation out there trying to pull you into hatred or fear or dysregulation, right? That it's very important to stay extremely mindful on what you're consuming, what you're allowing in your environment. And also, are my thoughts currently helping me or hurting me in this moment? Are they debating one another, or are they inspiring the next step on my journey? So, really stepping back and reflecting is going to be very, very important because we're going out of a state of the nervous system constantly scanning for safety to going into intuition and being clearer with your body and regulating it. So a lot of changes in food, what people consume on a physical level, because, when talking about mental health, our gut health and mental health, they play hand in hand. So if our gut health is out of alignment, our mental health is going to be too. So big shifts in that as well is going to just naturally happen. Self-awareness is very, very important. Try to not numb yourself. If you see yourself kind of doom scrolling or just not, I don't know how to explain it. If you're kind of just fading out and allowing whatever you're scrolling through to kind of control your mental mind, pay attention to what does my body feel like in this moment? Does it feel anxious? Does it feel scared? Does it feel, and being like, okay, if I'm feeling this way, let's re-regulate. I am safe in this moment. A lot of wanting to remind yourself of your safety, what you have control over, guys, what we have a choice of is what we allow into our environment and into our nervous systems.
Nicole, this is all stuff that we have been preparing for with the shedding of the snake. I too don't think I was completely prepared for all of the things that I'm feeling, knowing it was coming, but it's definitely a shift that I've had way too many what WTFs is happening to me right now. And then I have to stop and pause and realize, well, this is the middle of a shift and I'm transitioning, and this is a lot. It's a lot. And I'm not quite sure Mother Nature's figured her shit out either. Like, I think she's stuck in the winter or somebody just shit her Wheaties. I'm not sure what it is, but it's just throwing everybody off.
With the current transits, it's going to continue to happen, especially because Mother Earth is going to recalibrate herself back no matter what the controllers that be want to contaminate Earth Mother. She's going to recalibrate and she will shift weather-wise to do so. But a lot of our weather impact that we're having is definitely not just Mother Earth controlled. It's definitely like government controlled through sickness, through the clouds, because if we can stay down, then we're not stepping into our power is how they would like to look at it, right? To try to weaken you down as much as possible. So that's why, again, with the nervous system, really recentering no matter what your environment looks like, because peace is found within for it to be lived without. So when you're having those moments of like, what is so loud right now? What is being broken open? What now is being reprogrammed? Because with Uranus going into Gemini, that's a big shift. That's a big question to ask yourself. What is now being reprogrammed? The Mars and the Aries energy, why does it feel like things are moving so fast? But for you personally, where is it hitting you? And that's where you can find out based on the houses, because the houses literally will show up on the wheel of where it's going to happen. So by knowing the signs, right? Because we're talking about Gemini, we're talking about Taurus, we're talking about that shift into Aries. The signs are about how it expresses the energy, okay? And then the planets about is what is happening, right? So when we're talking about Uranus, we're talking about what is happening. When we're talking about Mars, we're talking about what is happening energy. And then the houses for you personally is where it personally is happening. Um, and each house has its own. So the first house is around your identity, your appearance, yourself. Your second house is about money, possessions, income, assets. So when we're talking about what Uranus was currently hitting and changing, it had a lot to do with like our value. And for me personally, it was around my family and stuff over these past 8 years. And what I was allowing within myself. But if you really want to be able to understand everything that's happening, find the tools to understand yourself. Your birth chart does that. The energies that are currently playing out, they give you reflections. Working with tarot or a pendulum, like connecting with your body, creating, getting really grounded, because we're getting out of the era of, honestly, corporate America and working as a machine. We're really getting away from that energy and more into community, work, bartering, loving thy neighbor, having community, like living by people that you guys co-work together and build up. That's just a shift that we're going into. And a lot of people are going to have a hard time with it because the old system is giving landfill energy, right? So we're in a place where we're trying to clean it up. A lot of people are calling it a breakdown, but really it's calling for an upgrade.
And I think it's important for folks to understand that uneasy feeling, you kind of just have to go with it because it's actually leading you to something greater, something bigger. Because this is the year of change for everybody. So as uncomfortable or as frustrated or aggravated you get with all of the different emotions that are coming at you, just know that if you stay grounded and you kind of go with the flow, just trust that flow. It's taking you to a better place.
Yeah. In your nervous system, you regulating your nervous system will make room for your intuition and your knowing to come through, so you feel more grounded and safe to make the decisions that you're making. Because at this time, especially with how fast this energy is moving, making decisions when you're in a state of panic or fear is going to come back and swing right back at you very, very quickly. Like the consequence. So you really want to be mindful with the movement, but still moving forward, just trying to not do it so chaotically, and that you do have control over. And I mean it to the extent of really being mindful on what you're consuming. I say it all the time, but as somebody who has been there, and I'm still constantly shifting myself out of things, what you pull in is what is going to repeat on your mind. So being very mindful about what your thoughts are creating in your world, because your thoughts create your environment. The crazy thing about, well, what's big about this is that we were moving out of a world that taught us to obey our disconnection and into a world that asks us to trust our body. So Tina talking about nervous system regulating correlated with mental health, it's very on theme with what's happening energetically. Our knowing, our own inner signal, it's all being shifted. Your nervous system is constantly scanning for safety, like we mentioned earlier, and we want to shift into knowing that a regulated nervous system makes room for the truth to be heard. And in a world that is throwing out all kinds of false truths, regulating your nervous system is going to be your compass to really knowing the truth that you're hearing and that what you're not hearing to be told is true.
Yeah, there's just, on top of everything else that's going on around us, this is just one extra roller coaster ride
Mm-hmm.
to buckle up for. But at the end of the day, this one is leading you to a different space, and getting caught up in the division of everything else that's going on around us is going to leave you in a darker, more uncomfortable space if you allow it.
Yeah, and pulling back from the collective energy. It's so heavy out there right now that you don't have to be involved in it all the time, right? You don't have to. You have a choice on being involved in this energy or not, if it's serving you or if it's not serving you. So at this time, if you're leading with a hateful or fearful heart, really check with yourself and say, is that what I want to lead with? Because it's going to create that energy around you very, very, very quickly. There was something that, because I can't even see you on here. And in talking about spirituality, okay, so false belief systems are really crumbling. We're seeing that politically. I mean, let's be real, religiously. We're seeing a rise in spirituality because it really brings you back to yourself. So anything that was bringing you outside of yourself is really being exposed. Substances, religious control structures. And it's doing it not to say, haha, tricks on you, but to say, you don't need to be enslaved to this reality anymore. You can break. I want to break free. That's a song that just popped in my head when it comes to this energy. Your soul wants to break free from these false beliefs. And in order to do so, it does take mindful daily practices, micro changes, self-awareness, discernment is a huge one. Creating. What are some things that you found yourself to kind of tap it into lately to kind of help you with nervous system regulating?
Yeah, it's I think I'm getting more just out of being able to sit in the silence. Um, I find therapy in music. So a lot of times just turning on a good song or listening to um, one of my favorite singers, it just really helps kind of soothe me. And then of course there's always the routine of meditation at night to just kind of bring myself down with a little bit of the frequency apps that I play when I do go to bed. Those seem to really help me.
Absolutely. Have you noticed with the frequency music before bed, does it like do anything funky to your dreams? Like, do you have any interesting dreams or notice anything?
Well, it's hard to answer that one because I've always had strange dreams.
Do you
Um,
journal them?
yeah, I don't think I'm noticing a difference. Um, but maybe it's safe to say that they've picked up. Maybe they're more frequent than normal.
Are you writing them down and keeping track of them?
Um, to be honest with you, no.
I would be
I
open to doing so because with the energies picking up like they are, the epiphanies and the higher self awareness and guidance that are coming through, dream state is definitely one of them. Like literally, what you see right before you wake up, what you remember. I'd start journaling that down and kind of dissecting a little bit. It says your live is paused on the tiki taki. But I just a thought, just a suggestion, because I'd be real curious to see on some of the how some of those come up because they're probably messaging you on some pretty big things.
Well, and I don't know that I am one to easily wake up from a dream. Um,
You're back on.
okay, I just fixed something. I don't know that I'm one to wake up easily during a dream as much as I were if it was something that was rattling me, like it was like a really bad dream.
Hmm.
Um, so I would have to really get into the practice of allowing myself to get up, roll over, jot it down, and go back to sleep. That
Right.
would be that would be a practice that I'd have to get used to because once I wake up, I tend not to fall back to sleep.
Fair. And if you wait until the morning, you find yourself that you don't really
You don't
remember.
remember it.
Yeah.
No.
Because usually when they wake you up in that moment, the dream state, it's like because they want you to remember that. that exact moment right beforehand, that's usually the ooey gooey goodness message in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely.
It's going to continue to pick up for everybody too, for sure.
Oh, of course. Of course. I've even heard people like just going through like stores and um being around people, hearing others talk to somebody in line, and they're sharing things that they're experiencing, and it's funny because I just chuckle. I have a little bit of, I don't have the same level of understanding as you do, Nicole, but I do have like baseline, and so I'm in my head I'm just like, if you only knew. But like we're all going through it, so you are not alone, lady.
Right, right. Oh, I know. I find myself having conversations with people more now than ever about like the energies, their astrological sign, and more people knowing like what their sign is. And I mean, even if it's just knowing the sun sign, we've still really come really far ahead at the fact that it's more of a normalized conversation to talk about astrology and our birth signs, and even have like a little pun or an example that we use off of, the sign. So I think people, even if they don't fully understand like the houses and the details of it, I definitely think there's an awareness that's not getting tuned down. It seems like it's getting tuned up in frequency.
So, Nicole, what do you think the wind down looks like?
Mm, I'm so excited about that. Okay, so when the wind down happens, it's going to be more pleasant. They're still going. Okay, it's like two realities. Okay, you've got one reality that is still living the control. This is the way things go. Burn each end of your candle all day long until you die, until you retire, and then you're done. And then there's the new reality that exists 24/7, and it's a reality of peace, harmony, inner child play, but responsibly, right? Connection with spirit, fairy tales being a reality, creating more fairy tales, and I know it to be true because it sprinkles in like butter now. Like I've noticed it sprinkling like butter. It probably should have said
I was
like
just gonna say, where do you get sprinkling butter from?
I like butter, man, but I sprinkle it on like butter. Maybe that's how I meant to say it. Doesn't matter. But the magical of it, the magic of it, like more people feeling whole rather than empty or lost or like they're missing something. We're really moving into a consciousness of whether physically by themselves or not, feeling this sense of love, wholeness, completeness. That's a reality that I see on the come down. And the more and more chaotic it shifts in the other reality, the more you'll know that more of, I don't even care if it sounds like fairies and whatever, are going to be over on the other side of it. But the two worlds will no longer collide anymore. Like this system will not work with this system. They will work completely separate. It'll be a different community. It'll be who's ever living in that community is all contributing a part to keep the compound in the area working. There's going to be a lot of that happening.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what we can bring forward post this transition, because I'm curious to see how many people actually are going to have a story to share and not even realize that it was linked to all of this chaos that we're going through right now.
That's how spiritual awakenings happen. An awakening happens when there is a rock bottom moment, when there's a catastrophe, because it's meant to literally, like an earthquake, crack you open. crack open that foundation that already had little cracks in it, it
Yep.
blows it right the fuck open because you can't build on broken ground. All you can do is keep falling through the cracks. And what we're moving into is stability within ourselves, and a new kind of stability outside of ourselves. A lot of people also will start not having a lot of things. What's the word? Um, People will definitely live with a lot less stuff. They'll be more thinking about the earth after they're gone and not just, I don't care what happens, because that's that other world, right? We'll destroy it. It doesn't matter what happens after we're gone. And then we've got our world of how do we make this generationally evolve? And I feel having these
So
conversations.
we're going to get another generation out of this.
Oh man, well, because the generations that are falling after are fully embodying the fairy tale spirituality knowing. They're coming in remembering. They're not coming in like we did, well, like the generations before us where they came in not knowing at all. Then our generation got woken up by something too, and then the ones after us are kind of having it, but they're in environments that don't fully understand it yet, but they already have that awareness. And then like my son, completely aware. Like the way that we can telepathically talk to each other all the time, it cracks me up. From different rooms, he'll walk right out, and it's beautiful, and it's very, very, very real. And that shows the evolution that is happening, and it's happening because love is winning. And I don't care how corny that sounds. I got my tattoo, love all who loves all, because that's what raises consciousness, not hate and fear. Hate and fear is what controls consciousness. I get very passionate about this.
Well, it's educational too.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I'm sure your son didn't put as much energy into understanding this, and it was more natural for him. So it just it's enlightening. It's enlightening to hear the different experiences.
Very, very much so, because I was very much raised like you don't even really understand it, let alone
Mm-hmm.
having a conversation about it. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like I didn't even learn about what that I was a Scorpio until I think I was 30. Like you do really, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it really goes to show to the extent of understanding that we're getting more, and that's because of social media and the internet and everything else. They're giving us opportunities to find this information. But the unfortunate thing is that now that we can find this information, there's also misinformation. So there's going to be people who are going to all of a sudden step into this world because they're going to try to make money off of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the cool thing about that is that it'll get exposed because we're moving into a time where you got to walk what you talk. Because the talking is going to fall on deaf's ears. So for me, I'm really doing my best to embody what that is for me, how to show up authentically. And again, guys, you can find that out on what sign is in your first house. What's your ascendant sign? For me, I've got a stellium in the 10th house of Scorpio. Like, oh my God, it's so much there. But if you look at your 10th house, that's where your career, fame, reputation, profession, your public is. So the fact that I got a stellium there shows that in the energy that we're going into, you heard it here first, bro. It means that there's no option but for me to like really make it just by talking about these awakening truths and really getting out there energetically because of where it is in my chart. So you guys are learning, you guys can direct your lives more on like, wait a minute, maybe a factory job isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. No, it's not supposed to be what you're supposed to be doing. And that's supposed to be what you're doing. But if you go learn about your chart, you can get an idea. Because by knowing what 10th house you're working with, that gives you an idea of where careers would really work for you. And my Scorpio there, for example, is the death, sex, rebirth. It's psychology. It's mental health. It's spirituality. Literally bridge of the seen and the unseen. So I'm right in that that alleyway of that, right? But to get there, I had to go through an awakening of the false systems when I'm working for corporate America. When I'm taking all of the, that shift had to happen for me to understand.
Nicole, do you know where I sit? Do you remember?
For your 10th house?
I
Oh
guess.
man, I'd have to see your chart. Do you got your chart on you?
Um,
Could you pull up your wheel?
I don't think I have it on this computer.
But that's like why we wanted to share this with you guys tonight and show you guys the houses, because we're at a pivotal point where everybody is really waking up to, what do I want to do the rest of my life that brings me joy, keeps my curiosity going, but can also help the world, right? No matter how small that world is, it doesn't matter, right? And knowing your chart, you can find that out, because it's not a matter of working a factory job for 80 hours a week and just doing the grind, and you're drinking energy drinks or you're eating unhealthy foods and stuff because you're trying to, like a machine, keep feeding that. You know what I mean? There's nothing long term. So these energies that we're going into are trying to teach you long term, and you'll see that in the realities that are coming into that, this reality, you're going to see people start to ageless. Like the aging is going to change. The way that we age is definitely going to change, and I'm looking forward to it, because this old girl right here is getting younger every day.
Hey, what happens if you resist this change?
So if you resist the change, it will expose itself. Meaning, and that you can also check in your chart. Because if, say, you were giving a lot of resistance to the 10th house and not really going into the career and this, that, and the other, then you'll end up being pushed out of a job that you're in. Whether it's through having issues with like your boss, or some rules that are happening, or harassment. If you are people pleasing and you're staying in family dynamics that are harmful to, say, like your kids or to your well-being, well, those will get exposed to where, and it could be publicly. Somebody might record a situation. I've been seeing a lot of that. A lot of people are recording and then putting all over social media and TikTok the abuse that they're dealing with within the home. So again, being resistant, that's what's happening back. And it's happening very quickly, because there's no hiding in this energy anymore and throwing in. You will see people get thrown under the bus. You will see more suing happen. So be mindful there. People are going to be a lot quicker to sue. So just having contracts, just having things that protect you, just having extra barriers, mainly because people are going to be more scared, especially the ones that aren't nervous system regulating or tapping with their spirituality. You're going to see a lot of them doing a lot more of those scary kind of action steps. I mean, you can kind of see it playing out now.
Yeah,
Now, too, it just
yeah,
get increased too.
yeah. It feels like it's been a long time coming, so it feels like it's coming to that space now where it's about to clash. And I was just thinking, wow, what if you resist all of this and just don't go with your gut, don't follow your intuition, and
Illness, disease in the body. Yep. Yeah, you can't resist it. Like dis-ease, like disease is literally dis-ease in the body.
yeah.
So the resistance, it's almost like you can't even, because it's exposing itself. Just like a virus, it's exposing itself so it can be healed. It's not doing it in a way to be like, oh, punk, you just got. No, it's doing it in a way like you can't hide from this. And we know in our own personal lives that, we've got family trying to hide from things. And the reality of it is that the truth is the truth, and it's out and it's out. And when it gets where it needs to go, it's like the road runner. You run all you want to, but it's always going to catch up. So you might as well just face it. Best thing you could do is face the demon, face your Bowser safely, do it in a safe environment, of course, or, but take action steps to really like acknowledge your life. If there's ways that you showed up that were harmful to people, I'm going to be honest with you. It's getting kind of late for remorse now, energetically speaking. But I always say that if you have a change of heart or you really become aware and start educating yourself, then an I'm sorry and or acknowledgement can be all the difference in how energy starts to flow for you moving forward. Because otherwise, that resistance is going to blow up like a grenade in your hand.
Mm. Yeah, it's definitely kind of glad I caught onto this spirituality bandwagon when I did, because I think where I was in a mental mindset a year ago, if I hadn't been able to move on and heal, I probably would have gotten stuck in a much more vicious cycle. And God only knows where that would have led us.
Absolutely. We probably wouldn't even be on this podcast together. You know, it could have created dis-ease because like um our self-talk is literally like spelling out what we're creating. So if we're constantly saying, "Oh, this day is going to be shit," or "Oh, there's no point in me getting up and smiling because this is going on," that's exactly what you're going to keep creating every time you wake up and you face the world. So be a little delusional. I feel if you could be delusional enough to see your life in a bad light every day, then you might as well be more delusional and give yourself a shot at seeing yourself have a good day because you
Yeah.
do have control over that.
And those are some habits that are hard to break. So give yourself a little grace, but make
Absolutely.
small movements, right? Just small movements
Micro.
will make a difference. Nicole, we're at 7:57. Is there anything else you wanted to share on
Making micro changes. I like that you said that, T, because you're right. Giving yourself grace is true, but micro changes, they don't have to be big, but just have something as small as when you first wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror and you say, "I'm a badass bitch." Make that be the first thing that you say to yourself every day with a smile, wink, and walk away. Start there. That's a micro change. Or every
Yep.
time that you're thinking a little bit negative about yourself, just put a spin on it. No, I'm awesome. I am the healthiest I've ever been. And keep doing that. And I promise you guys, you give yourself that nonstop repetition of what you're saying to yourself, you will actively start showing up in action steps to create that environment. So give yourself the opportunity to make those micro changes and just see what could be on the other side of it. That's all. But as always, beautiful souls, you know, I'm really glad we had this conversation tonight. We were wondering where we were going to go with this, but giving you guys news that is going to be helpful and educational and help you on this journey is the kind of news that we want to show up for you every day. So as always, beautiful souls, if you woke up today, your soul still has purpose here on this planet. So you might as well show up authentically true that inspires you. Love and light, beautiful souls. Is there anything that you would like to end with, T?
No, I would just say, take it one day at a time. Micro changes are huge. Just understand that this is happening to all of us. So don't be shy or weird about speaking about it in front of other people. I bet if you started a conversation with what's going on around you, you would start to see a lot of people level up and be like, yeah, you know what? Funny you should say that. So don't be afraid to get out there and spread the good word, because you heard Nicole, resisting the transition and the change is not going to put folks in the best place for their own mental stability.
Yeah, because about community moving forward and what that community safely looks like for you, go out and find it. Your soul family is out there. Everybody is connecting with them here and there all the time. Just remain open and true to yourself. We'll be back here. Well, Tina won't be back here tomorrow night. I will be. I'm not sure who I'll have on, but I think I'm going to fast her up something. But we will be back here. Love and light, guys. You guys have a blessed rest of your night, and we will see you tomorrow.
Have a great night. Thanks for joining, guys.